Hey, this is Coach DAMIN, and today we're going to bring you 5 point guard tricks. We spend a lot of time breaking down NBA players, showing you different moves, attacking to the rim, moves that you can break down your defender, ways that you can get into your shot, ways that you can separate, set up teammates. Today's not going to be about breaking down. It's not going to be showing you a new elite move from an NBA All-Star. It's just going to be simple tricks that you can add to your game today and start working on that can help you become an elite player. If you watch NBA players, ESPN top 10 highlights are what most guys see. They see the razzle dazzle, shaking and baking. But if you watch the hundreds and thousands of simple plays that they make, there are a lot of little things that you can take away from those plays that can separate and make you an elite defender. For every one highlight play, they make 100 simple plays. And it's how well, how efficiently, and how often they make those simple plays that's what separates them from being good, to great, to really being elite. So again, today's not about showing you something fancy. It's not a crazy finish. It's not a Kyrie move or a Westbrook Euro. It's simple tips that you can add to your game today that elite point guards use, that you can add to your arsenal to make you better on the court as a floor general. Our first point guard trick is going to be something that John Stockton really made elite, and that players that focused on studying his game then added to their game. So now guys like KD, Kobe before he retired, they used it as a weapon, and that was their offhand. Especially at the grassroots level. You'll see a lot of guys attack the rim and their offhand is right beside their body. It's not doing them any good. Or worst case scenario, as they attack, just like if they were running, that hand goes behind them and they've left this ball exposed. Even if they step across their body and there's a little bit more protection, if that ball is out in front as they try to separate, you can see his hand is right to the ball. There's no protection whatsoever. I want my offhand to be aggressive and I want it to be a weapon. If I want to be a great ball handler, it's not just about what I can do with the ball in my hand, it's about what I can do with that offhand. So if I attack by the defender, instead of being here, I'm going to be aggressive to the point that I'm almost swatting his hand out of the way. Now notice I'm not pushing, I'm not extending that forearm, I'm just attacking it just like if I was running. Hand goes to hand combat, I've protected, and I'm on my way to the finish. This is something you can work on adding to your game today. Whether it's doing 2-ball drills, tennis ball drills, when we talk about true ambidexterity, this is one of those examples. So I can beat, and my left hand is not impacted by my right, and I can protect. Now it doesn't stop just after I get his hand out of the way. If I'm truly an elite player, as I attack downhill, I'm gonna keep that arm here in an arm bar. If you watch the Bucks play and Malcolm Brogdon, he's one of the best in the league, even though he's just a rookie, at attacking, getting that arm bar. And if you watch guys, they are trying to fight through his arm to get there. But he's so strong, he's created that separation. He can get to his finish. There's no push off. There's no chance of an offensive foul, but it's just arm bar here, protect, separation, and finish. Very, very simple. It's not a crazy crossover move, but if you can get to where you're aggressive and your offhand is a weapon, it's going to make you much more effective in any move that you do. Our next trick is going to be using a jab series. Now when you say jab series, most players immediately think catch and then triple threat jab series. As a point guard though, a lot of times you're going to have a live dribble and you may be dribbling the ball up the court and you still need to be able to create space. If this is a good defender and he's into my body, if I'm constantly having to go away, at some point I'm going to run out of space. Now obviously the retreat dribble is very important, and at the same time, if I'm always trying to go downhill and beat him, I may not be letting the offense get set up. I may not let actions happen that we're trying to get in our offense. So what I'm going to use is a dribble jab series. We can call it a dribble triple threat, where if my defender's guarding me here, just like if I was going to jab out of triple threat, if I hard jab, that much space may be all I need to get into the offense, to get a little space and call a set, or to get into my shot. Now I can jab several different ways. If my defender's guarding me here, I can side jab, and that creates space laterally in a driving lane. I can hard jab at, so I might rotate my hips right between his feet, create space. I might go hard jab at with my ball foot, where I'm here, jab, and I've again created space. In this dribble jab series, everything is here, short, quick, and violent. A tiny little bit of space is a lot of opportunity for me to make a play. It's not your standard triple threat jab series, but if I'm an elite point guard, these jabs can add a whole new element to my game. Our next point guard tip we're going to call the VEER. I'm sure all of you guys have been in a situation where you're in the open court and the defense is running beside you trying to beat you back to the spot. And it's 50-50 whether the ref's going to call a foul, whether they foul you or not. And what a lot of players make the mistake in doing is they let that defender run them off of their line to the rim. Now this isn't just applicable in the open court. It's no different if you beat your man as you attack the rim from the wing, from the top of the key. Anytime you get your man on the hip, it's a foot fight, it's a hand fight, all the way to the rim. In our VEER, what we're going to do is if he's beside me is I'm going to try to VEER and get my body in front of his. If it's side by side, it's hard to tell what's going to happen when we get to the rim. If he's behind me, I'm in a total advantage. I can fully extend, I can jump stop on 2 and draw the foul. So as we attack and I'm downhill, if I'm straight lining it to the rim, I'm trying to VEER and get my inside foot in front of him, and I'm veering him off his line while maintaining mine on the way to the rim. Again, this would still be the same at a triple threat if I attack the rim. Let's say I jab and then I'm attacking. If we're here and we're hip to hip, I've got a little bit of an advantage. But if I can VEER and get back in front of him, I'm in control. I want to get to the position where it's not 50-50. I'm not hoping the ref calls a foul. I'm not making a tough finish. I'm in total control with the defense on my back. I'm downhill, forcing reactions where I'm either going to get an easy shot or an easy setup for a teammate. Our next tip is going to be a simple glide or lateral space creation. If my defender is guarding me here, if I said, what's your definition of triple threat? You would immediately say if you're in a position where you can shoot the ball, you can drive, or you can pass. If I'm an elite player and I have a live dribble, I still should have those 3 options. And as a defender, he has to respect and guard those 3 options if I'm squared up to the basket. In lateral space creation, I'm going to glide space to space. And as you see here, if I glide and he has to react, chances are I'm going to be able to create more space than what he is. And you hear a lot of times coaches talk about with defenders, either they can or they can't move laterally very well. And if you can move laterally better than your defender, you can create a lot of space and a lot of opportunity. One way to look at it is, if he's guarding me and I have those 3 options here, that's 3 things that he has to respect. That shot, that drive, and again, that pass. If I glide to this spot, and let's say I cover 6 to 8 feet of space, if I glide to here, he has to respect each of those 3 options in each of those 6 feet of space. So that's 3, 6, 9, all the way to 18 different options that he has to guard and respect. Now, I'm not saying at all that you have 18 different moves, crossover between, crossover behind. There's just 3 things that he has to guard in so many different spaces, it's nearly impossible for him to react to all of those. So if I glide and he drops, boom, I'm straight into that shot. If I glide and he stays inside hip, boom, I can attack downhill. Or if he does play good defense and somebody pops open, I can easily, out of this position, swing the ball or set somebody up. But in that lateral space creation, I'm not to the rim, I'm not attacking, I'm not doing something that immediately is trying to force a quick reaction from him to attack. I'm just space, he has to stay with me, and I've got 3 options in each foot of space, so the more space I create, the more options he has to guard, the more difficult it's going to be for him to guard all of those. Our last point guard tip, we're going to call eye fakes. And I'm sure you guys work on change of pace, you work on hesitation, slow to quick, quick to slow, you work on your shot fakes and different moves. A lot of times, players forget to work on their eyes, and they forget how key and how important those can be to a defender who's guarding. If you watch a lot of games, you see a lot of times defenders, even though they're taught to watch the midsection, they'll end up making eye contact, or they'll be looking at the ball and trying to see where the ball is going before it gets there to anticipate and get steals, get deflections. But if I'm able to manipulate that defender with my eyes, that's another weapon for me. So I may attack down the court, and instead of just going change of pace, hesitation, if I go change of pace and sell a shot, I might go shot, he rises, and all that I need is that split second to be able to attack by. Or even on a pass fake, if the ball comes to here, if I pass fake here, he may react. If I go all eyes and everything eyes, he's probably going to move even more. If I can sell with my eyes while always being quick and able to react to whatever he does, it's going to be a huge weapon for me. What I can't do is get in the habit of always going where my eyes are looking. A lot of times young players, if they sell it here, they're going to shoot it. If they come here, that's where they're going to pass the ball. You have to be able to look everywhere while always reacting and manipulating that defense. Now don't make a mistake of saying that I'm telling you to throw no-look passes. I'm saying that you should be able to use your eyes to sell one way and then go to the other. Even in simple dribble moves, a lot of times guys will be looking here, looking here, looking here. Well, that's easy for him to react. If I'm downhill and I'm spot, and then I quickly react, he's going where my eyes go. Use your eyes to manipulate just like you use your change of pace, just like you use your hesitation, just like you use your shot fakes. If you add that element, those moves are going to become even that much more lethal. Hey guys, it's Coach Damon, and today we're going to bring you 5 more sneaky point guard tricks. Now we did a series previously where we talked about lateral space creation, protecting with the offhand, using your eyes to be deceptive. And today we're going to bring you 5 more of those quick tips that you can work to add to your game literally today. If you're playing pickup today, it's things that you can try out. It's very simple, but it's also very high level and very effective. Now our first, as opposed to being with the live dribble, we're actually going to talk about triple threat. A lot of high school guys and even college guys, when they catch, they immediately go straight from their hip to their knee, and they go from spot 1 to spot 2 over and over and over again when they rip out a triple threat. Tip 1 is going to be about us reading the hands. So if I'm an elite player and I'm in triple threat, I need to be able to read his hands and beat his feet. And what I mean by that is if I catch and his hands are low, if I go straight from point 1 to 2, he's a good defender. And even if he doesn't get a steal, at the worst, that's going to be a deflection. So when I catch, I need to be able to see his hands, and if his hands are low, I want to go straight over top. And if I go over top, 1, I've sealed him. 2, there's no way he can get that deflection. And 3, as we go the opposite direction, if you see here, a lot of times if refs see hands in here, it's going to be an immediate foul call. So I've created 3 advantages by simply reading his hands. Now at the same time, if his hands go high, I'm going to go low. So hands are high. If I see them there, then I'm going to go low and take that ball below. So it's crucial for me to be able to see his hands. Now I know your first question is going to be, well, what if he's a good defender and he's got one hand high and one hand low? Well, that's where I have to be an elite player. So let's say he's got one high and one low. He's a good defender. Well, I can catch here and I can start high and get low. Or if I'm going the opposite direction, I may be low and then come over top. But regardless of where his hands are, I have to have the ability to read and go opposite. Our second tip for today is going to be fake a pass to make a pass. Now there are a lot of coaches across the country and around the world who teach this concept, and there aren't a lot of players that buy into it. But if you watch guys who really do buy into faking passes before they pass, shoot, or drive, it's nearly always effective because the defensive player has to react to that fake pass. So when we talk about faking a pass, if the ball is reversed to me, I may fake low before I swing. Or he may fake to me before he throws inside. But I can get into the habit of where every time, if I'm not going straight to the shot, faking, and then pass, again, the defender has to respect that. Because if they don't, the ball's immediately going to be swung. Let's say the ball comes to me, and that defender doesn't respect this, then it's going right back to him. So I fake a pass to make a pass. One way you can very quickly work on this to get started with the workout is, let's say Coach and I are here together, is we can just go back and forth. Fake, make it, fake it, make it, fake it, make it. Over and over and over again, we are faking that pass, getting the defense to move, and then making that pass. It's a game of milliseconds and a game of inches. All it takes is that little shift for me to create an opportunity for a teammate. In our first series, we talked about being deceptive with your eyes and how I can look to the rim, and that may be all it takes for this defender to rise and give me a driving lane. Today we're going to talk about hand deception. Again, from series 1, we talked a lot about being able to protect with that offhand and be very active with it. I can also be deceptive with that offhand by faking a pickup. So let's bring again something from series 1. Let's say I go into that lateral space creation, and when I get to this space, if I bring that right hand right to the ball, he thinks that I'm either going to pick it up, so this is almost just like me faking a pass, or if I'm going to shoot, or he thinks I'm going to shoot. So if I go here and he rises because he thinks I'm going to shoot, if I'm here, he rises, then I can attack on by. That hand comes right to the ball, and because of that, he thinks it's a pass or a shot, and I'm able to react out. It's nothing quick, it's nothing explosive, it's just a quick hand deception that can create a huge advantage for me as an offensive player. Our fourth tip is going to be a crucial one for point guards handling the ball at the end of quarters, the end of halves, or at the end of the game when your team is up and teams are pressuring you. Now everybody's aware of a 5-second call. What a lot of players don't understand is what that rule actually means. So a lot of guys, they'll catch it, they'll dribble, they'll pick it up, and they try to get it out of their hands as quickly as they can because they think that 5-second call is going to happen. Now the way the rule actually works is when I catch the basketball and I'm facing pressure, that 5-second count is going to start. As soon as I put the ball on the floor, and I don't even have to break this arm's length, the 5-second call starts again. So I've got a second 5 seconds as soon as I start dribbling. Now if I pick the basketball up again, that count starts all over again. So if I've caught it, I've got basically till 4.5 seconds, and then 4.5 seconds, and then 4.5 more seconds. Now obviously you don't want to challenge it, a ref may be giving a quick call, but just keep in mind, if you see that count, as soon as you pick the ball up, the count's going to start again. So if you understand the game and you're a student of the game, you know what that rule is, and you can really manipulate that defense without being forced into 5-second calls. Our last trick is going to be the self backdoor. Now as soon as you heard backdoor or you saw it, you may think that we were talking about on the wing and backdoor cutting. This is actually going to be on a baseline out of bounds. Now a lot of teams, they're big or whoever is guarding the inbounder, he stays with his back to the basket so he can see the entire court and he can take away anything that's coming to the basket. Now if you're confident in your ability to put the ball on time on target, you can take advantage of that, especially if you're getting right to the end of a 5-second count or if it's early in the game and you haven't done it. So with the self backdoor, when he's here, I'm going to make sure that I stay behind the line and I'm going right off of his back and then stepping in where I'm going to have a wide open layup to the rim. Now it's crucial to make sure that when you do throw it off of his back, that you get both feet in before you catch the ball. So if I'm here and I have this one and I'm just picking it up, it's going to be out of bounds. So I got to make sure that both feet are on the floor before I step in and finish. Now our last thing with this, now I've just been tossing it off a coach's back because we're demonstrating it. In a game, you can't be afraid to throw it hard off of that defender's back. So you want to try to throw it so that it comes back to you. If you just toss it, there's a chance that it could bounce in a different direction or he could quickly turn around so you're hard off of his back, 2 points of contact, and then a wide open layup. Just like in our first series, these are things that you could do today. If you're playing pickup, you can go work on reading those hands or the eye deception or fake a pass to make a pass. But the more high-level basketball you watch, you're going to start seeing that these things happen a lot. And if you add these little elements into your already developing game, it's going to only exponentially help how quickly you're improving.
My playing level just skyrocketed.
Anyone that's serious about playing basketball needs to get EGT.
I would describe it as the best training program in the world.
This elite guard training program, it creates a monster in you.
You got to experience it. It's just on another level.
The best decision of my life was to buy the first EGT program.